All right, y'all. May not be on the same day every week, but we're getting one out every week. Um, Hello. Let me tell you where we've been. Last you heard, I believe that we were having the car vomit incident. We were in the midst of the incident. It was going to get much worse, relating to all of the hoops I had to go through to get that all sorted out. Uh, we won't need to talk about it. It was just a very stressful week last week, and it didn't actually, the incident happened on Sunday. It didn't actually get resolved until Thursday morning. And throughout all of this, I was particularly stressed because of some various things that went wrong with it. I didn't think I'd get to go camping last weekend, which was something I'd been really looking forward to. So I was just beyond pissed off and frustrated and upset, and like I'm sure that there was some crying involved. So it was a pretty tough week for me, but I stuck to my goals. I closed all my rings to keep the streak up. I didn't emotionally frustratedly eat and stuff like that, so that was good. I did get sorted out and I did get to go camping. So I went out by myself for one night. It was just a gear test sort of camping trip to test all the various things that I had purchased and acquired for camping over the past few weeks. It was a good thing I went on the trip because while 90% of my purchases and such were great, 10%, and they were an important 10%, needed to be swapped out for something else, and that was the tent and the sleeping pad. So two very important things when camping. The tent condensated too much, which was kind of expected. It's a single-walled tent without its own, it doesn't have its own full rain fly or anything like that. So I need to replace the tent, which I already have. The replacements being shipped to me as we speak, and the sleeping pad as well as being replaced. I'm going to try to go with a cot instead. So I think that I'm now pretty much, presuming those things work out, pretty much set up. So camping went well. I went hiking the morning I woke up in the campsite and I went hiking by myself, which was great. It wasn't the greatest hike, but it was good exercise, and it was nice to get out there on the trail and like remember why I want to be fit, is so that I can do that without having to rest every 10 seconds as I go up the hill, because the trail was just kind of like, a little bit of up and down, and then right up at the end you just climb a mountain. So that was stressful in a good way. Took my trekking poles, got it done. And I already knew that this was the case, but I have shown to myself that it is best to camp and then hike, because you get to start so much earlier in the morning so it's not too hot. So camping went well. I ate fine. I did end up, I was like, I'm gonna eat so healthy while I'm out here, but then as I'm sitting around by the ring, knowing I'm gonna have a fire later, I'm like, I'm gonna want some s'mores. So I went and bought some s'more stuff, but I didn't eat a whole bag of s'mores in one night. So that's an improvement off of where I've been in the past. So that went well. Came home, was really sore, but really happy to have gone. And so everything was going fine. Throughout all of this, while I do not intend to do like multi-night backpacking trips anytime soon, if ever, it's not something that's really on my bucket list, but it's something that kind of appeals to me, sort of thing. It's like, kicking around in the back of my brain. But whether I do that or just bring coolers to campsites, having to bring soda because I have this caffeine addiction, because I drink diet soda, a lot of diet soda. Like, people don't understand how much I drink until they see it, and then they're like, whoa. And I'm like, I know, I told you. They're like, yeah, but I didn't realize. So having to bring all that soda is just a lot of cooler space. It's a lot of weight. And if I were ever to go actually backpacking, it's like that, I can't bring that. So I've decided that I need to kick the caffeine habit. And so I think Sunday was my last caffeinated soda. It's Thursday now. And that's why you're only just hearing from me now, is because I was just feeling so physically bad since cutting out caffeine. Like, mostly it was headaches, but there was like a section of, obviously just lots of fatigue and tiredness, and also there was a bit of chest pain and pressure at one point, which was a little bit alarming, but I'm like, this doesn't feel like it's going to be a problematic thing. I'll see someone if it gets worse, and it got better, so it's gone now. And today's the first day that I woke up without a splitting headache. So that's good. I feel like I'm through the worst of it now, and I just need to keep it up. I've still got, just to kind of make the transition easier, I've got diet caffeine-free soda. So I'll have that for a few weeks, and then theoretically even, kick that, because that's just as heavy and just as expensive as caffeinated. It's just kind of to wean myself off the caffeine and then off of the soda is kind of my thought. So that's what I've been doing now. And one of my problems is when I'm feeling bad, like physically, I'm someone who is absolutely like, maybe food will make it better. And unfortunately, so yesterday I could feel this in the back of my mind. I'm like, I feel so crappy. The weather was crappy. It cleared up by the afternoon, but it was pretty bad in the morning. And I just was like hanging on by a thread as far as hanging on to my goals. And I said to myself, well, you know what reinvigorates you for your goals? Going hiking. And there's a state park maybe 45 minutes away towards Costco, which is relevant in a minute. And I'm like, I'll go out, do a little hike there for my exercise to close my rings for the day. Then I can hit up Costco for a few things on my way back. So I drive all the way out there. Trails are closed. They didn't say that on their website, but trails are closed. So that whole trip was a waste. But I'm like, well, at least I can still go to Costco. So I pick up some things at Costco. And I was so hungry by then that I'm like, well, and normally when I go to Costco, I would get, a hot dog and drink combo because it's just such a good deal. But the hot dog would have been fine compared to what I ate. But they don't have any caffeine-free soda, and I didn't want to just throw away the soda. So I got a slice of pizza instead, which obviously not great from a calorie perspective, but it was only going to put me 150 or so over, and I still had to exercise for the day. So this is my dinner, and then I'll be fine. But I get home, and I did make myself go exercise because I cannot, like I said, very streak based. And I'm like, I cannot break my streak. So I didn't break my streak. I went to the gym, but when I got back, I was like, I'm gonna finish out all these s'mores things. So all of my marshmallows are gone, and then I had almost an entire pizza. I just felt so crappy, and for some reason I thought eating would make me feel better, and in some ways honestly it did, but obviously not in all ways. I did track everything that I overate, and I think that I ended up coming out over my calorie goal by 1,800 yesterday, which is obviously not a good day, but I'm trying to make sure that if I think about it I've done terribly, it's all a waste of time, then I'm not going to be successful. But what I need to do is think it's, over the course of this past week, if you think of every day as a step, it's I took 7 steps forward and maybe based on calorie numbers, 2 or 3 steps back. So it's I still have made progress this week. And yeah, not as much as I could have made if I hadn't slipped, but you climb the mountain one step at a time. It's not I can't still make it up there. So I'm just going to get right back on the wagon. I've not, I haven't been all right, well, fine, it's all out the window anyway, and gone crazy for breakfast this morning. And so I haven't caved and got a soda with caffeine in it. Pardon me. Still morning here. And so my intent is to just get right back on the horse. I know that, I have to understand that these bad eating days are going to happen. And I just need to understand that that's a part of life. And as long as bad eating days are an exception rather than a rule, then I'll still be moving in the direction that I need to be moving in. So that's my plan. I don't have anything going on this upcoming weekend, but the next weekend after, I'm going camping with my partner, which should be fun. But I'm not sure what I'm going to do this weekend. I'm getting a hammock delivered today. I'm going to set that up on the porch. I think that's going to be my chillin' place now that the weather's kind of cooling off a little bit. I haven't been feeling nearly as inclined to play a lot of video games, which is usually my time killer. So I've been kind of trying to figure out how can I fill that time in ways that don't involve eating. And back in the day, back when I was home in the Southwest where it's very dry, I would go walking because I don't mind the heat. What I mind is the humidity. And so with the rain we've been getting here in the Carolinas, it's just generally humid. And now with the rain, it's just absolutely awful. So if you don't go out in the very first morning, it is not it is not a pleasant walking experience. So it's not as easy to just be like, oh, I'll just go for a walk. But I figure when the weather's good, I can walk. When it's so, I can be on my porch. And when it's not great, maybe I can get some video game time in or read a book or something. What a concept. So that's where I'm at. That nutrition one is coming up, but as you can probably guess, if I went over my recent nutrition, it'd be marshmallows, graham crackers, and pizza. So probably not the time for that right now. But thanks so much, guys. I will get a video out soonish about the nutrition, I swear.